Hello, thank you for joining us today on another adventure in real estate. Got another pretty face with us today, and that's Miss Julie Kingery with Mountain Lake Realty, a part of the Kingery team. She's here, and we're gonna talk a little bit about sellers and suggestions, just maybe 3 quick suggestions for sellers on getting, if you were to do 3 things to get your home ready to go on the market, what would be those 3 things, Julie? So we're gonna tag team it.
Okay. I think first 3 things we're probably very similar on of what we would suggest, but I would say definitely declutter. So
declutter.
Mm-hmm.
And what does that mean exactly?
Declutter as in if you have extra furniture in a room, maybe clear out extra furniture. Things on your kitchen countertops. I know we all like to have our little gadgets and things that are sitting that we might use once or twice a year, but we keep them there just in case. So clear those off. Pictures on walls, maybe take down some personal pictures, family. Sometimes when you walk into a house, people go directly to your pictures of family and they want to say, do I know this person? How do I know them? Oh, my kid plays soccer with them. Or sometimes that takes the focus away from looking at the house and they get caught up in looking at your stuff. And I know closets tend to be a place that we shove things when we know people are coming, but when someone comes to look at your house, they want to see in the closet too. So maybe declutter extra things sitting around your closet.
And I guess the point I would want to try to, I stopped you there just because I was like, what does that mean? Because some people, when I think about decluttering, I think about my office and the mess that it is. So that's where my mind immediately goes. But it's each room is unique in that when we talk about decluttering, when you go to the bathroom, you know, it may be, look at all the different little trinkets and treasures you've got on the sink.
All your toothbrushes and flossers and
and
face wash and whatever else.
And then you move to the bedroom and it's just a different set of criteria, different things in there. And we all, I think as Americans, we are guilty of just having lots of stuff.
We collect. Yeah. We like to collect things.
And so, going through a room and you may decide, hey, if we take this piece of furniture out, all of a sudden that room looks or feels twice as big as what it did when it was in there. And so that's a really good point. And there's not a lot of cost associated with decluttering. Makes a big difference when it comes to selling a home. So we'll call that's tip number 1, and that's probably like ding ding ding, the biggest bang for the littlest buck, right?
Yes. And outside too, don't forget about the outside. If you've got things laid up against storage buildings or outside on the garage, sometimes things like that, it just adds up as one more thing somebody's clicking off their list of, oh, are they gonna throw that out, or am I gonna have to clean that up when I move in? So that's another thing, don't forget that. Right. Tip number 2, I would say, you might help me out on this one.
I was gonna jump in and say painting.
Okay.
I think at times we get guilty of, well, there's nothing wrong with this paint, but you really don't know what a difference just a quick, a new coat of paint, the pop that will give to a room, and it doesn't have to be every room, right? But just maybe it's the bathroom that hasn't been painted in a while. You just come through there with a new coat of paint, and bam, it looks like $1 million.
Yes.
And that makes a big difference.
That's also something you can do to paneling. I know sometimes when you have a house that has paneling, a fresh coat of paint on a paneled wall goes a long way in making it look more modern.
I think you've been reading or something, just paying attention. I didn't expect you to pull the paneling out on us here today. That's
Maybe
great.
I just showed something with some paneling.
Well, that's terrific. That's a great, it is you want to change a room that has paneling in it, you want to really change it. You put a coat of paint over it. It changes it.
Fresh, bright. It just keeps you from feeling like you're walking into that dark room. So
that's number 2. So what's be number 3 on your list?
Well, I think we talked about it a little bit before we started this, so I'm going to steal it from you, but he says light fixtures, I think, would be a third one. And going in further than just maybe modernizing light fixtures, sometimes you can take them down, paint them, but mainly just make sure they're dusted. Sometimes we look up and we see a ceiling fan and it has an inch worth of dust. The rest of the house might look immaculate, but you forgot that ceiling fan. So that's...
Well, and
look up.
And then the other thing, you know, I think it's interesting. You go into some homes and you're showing those homes, and there's a light bulb or two that's out, and it may be just as simple as going through and making sure that all the light bulbs in the lights work. Lights. When I go and we're going to show a home, the first thing we do, or at least I do anyway, is I go in and I'm turning every light on. I want things to look bright. I want everyone to have a chance to see everything that is the home. And the way to do that is with light. And so it may be just as simple. I mentioned light fixtures, and certainly we could change them out, but it may be just something as simple as making sure that the light bulbs are working in all of the lights that you've got there. That you'd be really surprised. Brighten things up, and then maybe you realize you'd get the light bulbs in, and you might realize that, hey, a coat of paint might go a long ways here. But that would be, so that's three. Real quickly, declutter, paint, and light fixtures.
Light fixtures, yes.
It's a great tip.
Get you started on the right way.
There you go. Some great tips. So if you're interested in selling your home, we'd love to visit with you about it. We've got these tips and some others that we'd be glad to share. Ask you to reach out to the Kingery team and let us know you're interested, and we'll be glad to come out and visit with you. Thank you, Julie.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, guys, and as always, we look forward to seeing you again on another adventure in real estate.